Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. I'm very pleased to welcome you today. The topic today will be how can you successfully migrate to hosted private cloud 2020. The objective of this webinar is to help you through the challenges and the topic around the migration. My name is Najwa Sergine. I am the lead of the success team within OVHcloud. What is the success team? Is a team of technical account managers and customer success managers that you might already know. And the objective of this team is to help our customer adopt our infrastructure and help them move forward with the project. Here, just a disclaimer, a little disclaimer, just to let you know that we're going to discuss products and product roadmap as well. It's important to notice that you have to make your purchase decision based on what is existing today and not the plan that might change in the future. Today, we have different speakers. Very glad to have the private cloud unit leaders with us today. David, Hubert, François will join us and explain more about the migration plan. And Lionel, thank you again, our head of professional services, will also discuss how can we help you move forward with this project. The agenda, pretty straightforward. We're going to go through the hosted private cloud 2020 and its features. Then we're going to discuss the options of migration path and the processes to be successful. We're going to get all your questions and really feel free to ask any. We have plenty of time to go through all of them. And finally, we're going to discuss how we can help you move forward with this project and what are the available resources.
Thank you, Najwa. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you today. So my name is David Rambreski. I'm a Group VP in charge of the private cloud products inside of OVH. The very beginning of the presentation is to give you the big picture of what is Premier, because as you probably know, we have launched Premier offers during July, and it's now in production. Regarding Premier, what do we have inside? First, it's a full VMware stacks. We provide vSphere 6.7 with dedicated vCenter. We have VMware Enterprise Plus licenses. All that stuff is being hosted on infrastructure OVHcloud, so dedicated servers, ES6 for the compute, and then vSAN and NFS SSD data stores for the storage. We included that offer SLA of 99.9%. You have VRAC 3.0, NS6V for the network stacks. Regarding the monitoring, we provide VROPS, IP failover. We embed also core certifications, SOC ISO 27001. And the ability also to autoscale. That means to provide a solution for your platform to autoscale regarding the loads and do that without having to taking care of. vScope is a monitoring tool made by OVH, and we provide that also. For the options, we provide some backup and replication solution, so Vim and Zerto. We provide also business application, HDS, PCI DSS for bank businesses. And we are close to provide a qualification called SecNum Cloud, which is a qualification for French businesses, French governments, the ability to secure all the data, to secure the teammates that are doing the run on operations. We provide also advanced security and license play. OVHcloud infrastructure can be connected to every kind of data centers. This is achieved by the solution OVHcloud Connect. So that way you can connect your data centers, in-house data centers, with OVHcloud infrastructure with Premiere, with Bare Metal, with any other solution that you want to. We provide hosts and data stores. We dig deeper into these details just soon after. And all that stuff is automatized, all is industrialized. We are taking care of the versions, we are taking care of the resiliency of the platforms, any security issues, and this is provided at scale. That means that if we want to scale a little bit your platforms, you can do that just by adding some resources, compute resources or storage resources. Just to dig into the detail of what we provide for Premiere offers, we have for the compute part 5 offers from 48 to 768. We provide cutting-edge technologies in terms of CPU and every pack, what we call pack is 2 compute plus 2 data stores. Every pack is provided with 2 data stores of 2 terabytes, 4 times 25 gigabits, and the ability to deal with 4,000 VLANs. This is going to be not the only technical slide, I would say. So if you look at the left side of the slide, you can see the Premiere host offer, which is a pack. A pack is about 2 data stores and 2 compute hosts. On top of that, we deliver the vCenter. We automate all the delivery of the vCenter, vSphere, NSX, and some network virtual functions to let you configure what you want, firewalling, load balancing, etc., etc. Then we provide also architecture vSAN. vSAN is about data stores. We provide a cluster composed with 3 hosts and NVMe, so high performance storage, local storage. And we provide also 2 data stores which are connected with NFS protocols. All that stuff is quite powerful. As I said before, the local storage for vSAN is NVMe. We provide low latencies, high IOPS performance. Everything is flexible. You can keep the control of your infrastructure. You can manage your storage and define the failure to tolerate for the vSAN configuration. And as I said before, everything is scalable. That means that if you want to add some hosts for the vSAN, if you want to add some compute resources for the pack, as well as adding some data stores, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. We provide data stores of 3, 6, 9, 18, and then 36 terabytes of capacity. So yeah, for the vSAN, we deal with a different kind of RAM memory, and the first offer, the 192, provides 8 terabytes of NVMe local storage. Every offer is using 2 times 25 gigabytes plus 2 times 50 gigabytes. And then you can also use the second offer with 19 terabytes NVMe, and then the last one, which is a very huge offer with high performances, and this offer includes 38 terabytes NVMe. Yeah, as said before, you can also use data stores. You can scale your platforms at your convenience. To achieve that, you just have to add some capacity, 3, 6, 9, and 19, 18, and then 36 terabytes. Every data store is using 3.8 SSD disks, which are high performance disks, and all the disks are dedicated to you for security reasons and to be aligned with all the certification that we can give to you. So regarding the certification, you can have ISO 27001 included by default in the package. And then I'm not gonna list every of them, but we have security certification for banks. We have HTS certification for healthcare. We have OVHcloud, which is a qualification for governmental businesses. You can use that. You can benefit every kind of certification in that Premier offer. Why we are talking about the migration path today? It's because when I'm talking about Premier, I'm not just talking about some compute, some storage. I'm also talking about huge modification, huge innovations inside OVH, and behind the scene, behind the Premier offer, we have created a brand new network, new network gears, devices, new network techniques. We have a new routing platforms called MART, and everything inside that leads to some constraints. That's why, as you will see before, after with Uber, we won't be able to give you all the possibilities to migrate. For example, inside the same cluster, you cannot just add some hosts, SDDC and Premier, and just migrate from one host to the other. That's not going to be possible for these reasons. This is why that slide is important. The network has been fully changed. The storage is quite new also. We were using OmniOS operating system. We are now using for security reasons, performance reasons, FreeBSD operating system. The design has been defined with a brand new design. Inside the data centers, we have some dedicated racks for the BCC backup. We have dedicated racks for data stores, which was not the case before. Everything was embedded into the same racks. That's not the case anymore for performance, security, residency. That brand new storage design brings you very important quality of service, and that leads to also many constraints for the migrations. Hosts, I've told you many things about hosts. We add new chassis, new disk, more disk cache, new capabilities. We are also using LACP, which is an aggregated way of doing the network stuff. We were active passive before. Now we are active active. It's easier for the maintenance. It's much more qualitative in terms of performance, but we cannot merge active passive mode and LACP mode. That's not going to be possible. That's not going to be so easy. And for VMware, it's quite the same. It's just some evolution, new vSAN, new vRops, new NSX, new vSphere, but nothing really brand new on that part. We'll talk about NSXT and vSphere 7 after the presentation. That's going to be achieved during the next quarters. But for the Premier offer, as I'm speaking right now, we are just using the same stuff as you can see before. Why we put that slide? We put that slide to give you an idea of what we are talking about in terms of VMware partnerships and then of volumes of technical items. We are a partner with VMware. That doesn't mean that we just talk with them every month and that's it. No, we work deeply with them. For example, if I take the example of NSXT, which is the new way of doing network, with that solution, given the fact that we are a cloud provider, we deploy and we manage all the VMware stacks and all the infrastructure behind that for you. That leads to some constraints, and the way we deploy, the way we use, the way we industrialize VMware is not the same that the way you can deploy VMware on a single platform, dedicated platform in-house. That's why we work with VMware for NSXT. They have patched some key feature for us, and we are working on the NDA with them to validate these patches, actually, as I'm speaking right now. That's going to be finished in December, and then we'll move forward to embed and to deploy that into the OVHcloud infrastructure. And in terms of assets, in terms of technical items, so 40,000 managed assets, thousands of vCenter, ESXi, etc. I'm not going to read the slide. You can do that, but just to give you an overview, when we deploy an offer, we deploy an offer worldwide. In France, in Germany, in Poland, in UK, in United States, in Canada. And we need to automate all that stuff. To ship that, we are using robots called Mosk for the OVH stuff. 2,000 robots are used to deploy just hosts and to make the platform available and highly resilient. I'm gonna give the floor to Hubert to talk about the migration path.
Hello everyone, I am Hubert Maréchal. I am the product manager for the hosted private cloud universe. So my responsibility lies with the roadmap, the feature requests, and making sure that our product portfolio is current within the hosted private cloud universe and across the whole OVH cloud products. I'm here today with you to speak about the migration process. What we, as David explained, due to the leap between SDDC offers and the hosted private cloud Premier offer, we are not able to offer migration paths at a cluster level. So the only two migration paths that will exist on the in the hosted private cloud universe will be from a PCC to a PCC, which is already available, or from a VDC to a VDC. And this level of migration will be available from March 2021 onwards. So just before diving a bit into the second migration path, when you migrate from a PCC to a PCC, we recommend to use the Vim replication technology, and within the VDC migration level, you can use the vMotion capabilities auto-called depending on your infrastructure. I want now to dive quickly on the second migration at the VDC level. So the thing is, this is the step-by-step of the migration itself. We will just see on the slide afterwards, there's a couple of things, adjustments to those actions in terms of preparations and checks, obviously. I want to assure you that as of today, both those migrations are documented in our platform. We have guides and videos available in English to document how to migrate at the PCC level. At the VDC level, the topic is ongoing. It will arrive in the next couple of weeks, but basically the migration the migration itself it's easy. In your PCC, you create a new virtual data center, you order some hosts, you order data stores, and then there's a vMotion to do from to move the VM from your old data center to the new Premier VDC. And then automatically, after removal of the old hosts and data stores, the vCenter will detect and rename the virtual data center as your new primary VDC. Also, there's you can share the data stores between the VDC SDDC and the VDC Premier. Based on this, we know that the migration is a complicated operation. We want to make it easy for you, so we created guides and checklist of this. This is just an example. Again, I'm sorry, it's quite technical and detailed, but this is the level of information we want to share with you to make sure that this migration comes at as easy as possible for you guys. So at a PCC level, you can use Vim. There will be an impact, potential downtime. At a VDC level as well, there might be a potential downtime, but it's the time frame is really shorter than with using Vim. I don't know, maybe I won't go into the details. We'll make sure to share the link to the docs where you can find all the checklists there. And I think Lionel as well will re-mention it later in the presentation. But the complexity of a migration at the PCC level is consequent. We want to help you and to assist this for you. We also want to facilitate it. That's why from March onwards, we will offer you the possibility to migrate at the VDC level, where numerous actions would be done automatically. Currently in OVH, we have, due to this jump in quality and consistency that we did from SDDC to Premier, we have numerous upgrades to perform on our infrastructure. Well, you may have heard about the end of Flash. So the vCenter Flash plugin will not be used after many browser like Firefox. I think it's end of January. They will decommission. They will deprecate the Flash. So you will have to use a HTML client. And for us, this means upgrading maybe 7,000 hosts, I think, to the latest version of the vCenter at the EXE level. So it's quite consequent, and we need to be in control of those upgrades. So that's why it takes us some time, but it's just a matter of performing all those upgrades, and then you will be able to add a VDC inside your PCC. And the end of Flash is just one example. The other ones are the 1000V migrations, upgrading the VROPs, changing the VXLAN. One item there to note is the MART. It's called the MART migration. This one is regarding the routing platform. So we changed, as David said, we changed the network architecture between SDDC and Premier. Hence, this routing platform change. We have on the slide there, you can see that the start of the wave 1 is with lines. That means that for the March migration, we will set up an order to perform those operations in full control, and we will give priority to customers who want to migrate and who have expressed their interest into migration as early as possible. So I think Lionel will mention that afterwards. We will create queues to customers that want to migrate in priority. And of course, and again, those 3 waves of migration at the VDC level, it's from March onwards, but as of today, you can already migrate at the PCC level.
Yes, we do have some questions. Thank you, Hubert. We already had some questions while David was talking, but I kept them for now. Let me just and feel free again to ask your question in the panel. They're talking about what are the types and numbers of disks in the vSAN host.
So the number of disks depends on the host you choose. If we are talking about, so we have 3 different hosts, and their name depends, the number of memory we have added in the host. So the first host is a 192, vSAN 192. That host has 2 disks of cache and has 4 disk NVMe capacities. All the disks are NVMEs. So you can create up to two disk groups of 2 capacities. If we are talking about the vSAN 384, that vSAN host has 2 disk as well for the cache and has 10 disk for capacity. So you can create up to 2 disk groups of 5 capacity disk. All disks are NVMe as well. And if we are talking about the last vSAN host, the vSAN 768, that host has 4 NVMEs that we can use as a cache and has 20 disks that we can use as capacity. So we can create up to 4 disk groups of 5 disk capacity. And each capacity disk is less than 2 terabytes, is something like 1.92 terabyte.
What licenses MS have available in SPLA mode?
I can have it as well. We have for Microsoft SPLA, we have 2 kind of licenses, Windows licenses and SQL Server licenses. The SQL servers, we propose standard and web, and regarding the Windows licensing, we propose standard and data center.
Last question, I guess, for the offer definition. What are the performances of the SSD? Because it seems that we have challenges on the hybrid disk. Do OVH commit on read-write performances?
We provide, we can give you some benchmarks because before launching the offer, we did some benchmarks relatively to some block size and stuff like that. But we cannot commit on performances. We can just commit on performances given a context, which is the context of the benchmark that we did. For example, if we take an email platforms, emails are doing high-ups, random high-ups, read-write, random high-ups, and it's very, very different than another application for geographics photographs with the big files. You probably don't have so much random, but you have a huge read and maybe huge writes with big blocks. So that drives me to the conclusion that we cannot give to you, we cannot commit OVHcloud on some performances. We can commit OVHcloud on performances given a context with the benchmark that we can give to you for sure. But that's the maximum that we can do. And if we talk about some other providers, storage providers like NetApp or EMC, for example, they commit the offers, the gears for some probability to be able to do some high-ups, but they never commit to give you the right high-ups, the right performances for every kind of application. That is just not possible.
Now on the migration itself, we have a bunch of questions. Is the migration schema via vMotion is available for PCC on AMD?
You can, so we are talking about VDC to VDC migration. If we are talking about PCC to PCC migration, vMotion is not available, obviously. But regarding the migration between 2 VDCs inside the same PCC, inside the same private cloud, this will not be available because we, I mean, I'm talking about the vMotion between the hosts, vMotion, because we change the CPUs. On Essentials or on Premiere, the CPU are Intel, and the CPU on AMD, the former range, private cloud range, the CPU is AMD, and we cannot hot vMotion between AMD and Intel. So the only way will be to call migrate the VM. But as part of the migration, as Hubert explained, we allow some data stores to be mounted between two VDCs. So as soon as you order the new VDC, you will be able to set up the data center on the data stores, on that new VDC on the existing VDCs, and you will be able to storage motion to hot move the data stores of the VMs from the data stores they are located in today to that new data stores. Then, because you move from AMD to Intel, we will have to shut down the VM and then move the VM to that new VDCs and just restart the VM. So that will not be a hot migration, but that can be what we could say a warm migration with a very, very small downtime. By doing that, you will move the VM from VMware version to new ESXi hosts, and you can take the opportunity by powering down the VM to upgrade the virtual hardware, to the last version, to being able to benefit to the maximum performances and last bug fixes and security fixes from VMware.
As I understand it right, it should be possible to migrate VM from PCC 18 to PCC 20 Intel without any downtime. Is that right?
You understood well. You have a limitation between AMD and Intel, but if you are running Intel already, in your existing VDC, you will be able, again, inside the same PCC between two VDCs, you will be able to hot move the VM between the two VDCs. By doing that, you have two choices. First, mounting the data stores on the two VDCs, and then move the VM to the new VDC hot. And you can move both if you want, storage and VM between the two VDCs. The only thing you need to think about is we are not running the same CPU generation. Depending the generation of Intel you have on the existing VDC, you are running Broadwell or Ivy Bridge CPUs, you will need to set up the EVC on the new VDC. EVC stands for Enhanced vMotion Compatibility, an option on the cluster, at the VMware level. You will need to set up the EVC on Ivy Bridge or Broadwell, depending, the existing VDC. And you will, part of the migration, choose to move the port groups, to maintain the connectivity as well during that vMotion, wizard. But yes, you can hot move if you have some requirement already in place, and the biggest requirement is the EVC correctly set up on the two VDCs.
And during the migration, just to add something, during the migration, if you stick your CPU to a lower level of instructions and performances, you will have some performances impact, but that's just going to last during the migration. As soon as you get all your VMs moved to the brand new offer Premiere, you can just unset the EVC flag configurations on your vCenter, and that's done. You get all the performances.
What are the data stores model compatible for the VDC sharing?
If you want to share the data stores between VDCs, you will be able to add all the data stores from the new VDC. If you want to keep the data stores from your existing VDC, you will have only a few data stores compliant with that new data store, with that new range. Sorry, we have, in OVH, we build our own hardware, and we have several generations of data stores in place today on the hosted private cloud. Part of the life cycle, we will only allow the last version of the hardware, the last version of the storage to be mounted on 2 data stores, so on 2 data centers. But all the data stores you will have on the new VDC, on the new data centers, will be compliant, and you will be able to add, both.
Thank you. We have a use case here, challenging for me to try to translate, but I'll do it. We have SDDC DC, and we are going to migrate from vCenter 6 to 6.7 in December. After this update, we would like to replace our Excel host, which are 10 gigabytes net card, with new host. Example pre-192 host with 25 gigabyte net cards. Is therefore the option available only starting from March 2021?
The answer is quite short. This is yes. To migrate to Premier offer, we need to get the routing platform called Martre. I don't know if you can show the planning size. Yeah. Yes. This is okay. Martre migration here developed beginning of March, and probably that development will be finished during end of March, beginning of April, maybe mid-April. Is mandatory to be able to migrate from anywhere to Premier offer because we need to change the default gateway, and to ship that we need to industrialize the way we move the default gateway of to make it simple, of the PCC, the former one PCC to the newer to the new one. We have some network gears which are I would say obsolete, not performing enough if we compare that to Martre routing platform. So we decided to provide the best, the very cutting-edge solution with Premier, and this is a constraint that we have to taking care of. So the answer, short answer is yes.
And then probably related question, what is your level of confidence of availability of VDC for option 2?
Very confident. That we really do master the process. The main pain points for us, to be honest, is just a matter of planning. We have to plan some developments, and we have to take care of the whole stuff, the legal stuff, to create technical guides, to create some videos, to develop, to validate, then to put that on production. And as I said before, we are dealing with thousands and thousands of platforms. It's just a matter of time, but there is no technical issue that we cannot deal with. That's why the migration process from our perspective is quite clear and quite, not to say simple, but under control, definitely.
I will add something, if that's okay, David. Just to build up on that, I fully support David's message. We are very confident in the migration at the VDC level from March onwards. And I just want to reemphasize the fact that we have the PCC level migration already available, and although it's more complex, just a bit of teasing, in the next part you will see how Lionel and his team are doing their best to provide you with the best support should you want to migrate ahead of March.
Thank you, Hubert. Can you just a little bit of more explanation is asked about the 3 waves, the one with no option, Vim and Zerto. Can you re-explain a little bit why you've split it that way, and what does it mean?
Yes, as David said, this is a matter of development. So what we want to avoid you having too many complex migration paths. And we want to avoid you having to recreate and to redo all, the configuration you already have on your VDC. And so we plan having some development to ease the migration from one VDC to another one, to move the backup you already planned, you already configured on the existing VDC, to ease the fact that the VM will move, on that new VDC. So we are going to provide documentation and automation and some API calls and some automation regarding the migration to help the fact that the workload gonna move from one VDC to another one. Same thing for Zerto. Today, Zerto can only be enabled on one VDC. So to help customers having another VDC, to move the workload, we have to set up and to change the automation to allow having several VDCs inside the same PCC. And so this is some development we have to plan to test and to bench before providing you, that automation.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm pleased to spend a short moment with you and go through the various options of assisted migrations, thanks, that we have identified with one major objective, which is to make our customer life, let's say, easier. And for this, we will minimize the risk for your production and make migration as simple as possible. So we identified three, let's say, ways of assisted migration. First, on the left, through guides and tutors, this option will help all our customers and partners with some expertise internally to manage this migration directly by themselves, I would say, in an independent way. We described in those guides all the steps of migration, from preparation steps to the migration itself, including a specific post-migration testing phase that we included as well. In the middle, you can see that we have a second option available for our customers, which is to go through, let's say, our qualified partners with a long experience of our VMware environments and partners who, let's say, are used to doing a lot of installation and migrations. The third one now on the right-hand side of this slide, you can see that we would like to offer and present you, let's say, a third option, which is of assistant migration through our own teams for technical assistance, all along the migration. And I will come back on it in a moment. So let me share with you some information exactly, thanks, around first the guides. So for the guides, I wanted to let you know that our experts made a huge work, spent a lot of time internally to update a few guides to go through all the steps. So they updated the guides and try to make it as simple as possible to allow, as I said, customers who want to do it by themselves to migrate in an independent manner. So this guide is quite, let's say, for sure it's completely accurate, clear. It includes videos, specific tips, advice, and it shows you all the steps of the migration. And you will also find some type of checklist tools, methodology, and migration tools to use. You can see on this slide the link to the complete guide of the migration to Premier, and you should find all elements to allow you to understand this migration. So that's for the guides. Second part is our second option of assisted migration is to go through partners. So let's say that this is highly recommended for all customers with, I would say, poor expertise internally, or for customers with expertise but who want to manage the risk of such an operation impacting their production environment. So for all customers who need assistance, let's say through turnkey services, we encourage them to go through those partners able to commit on results through a structured and adapted project plan and able to do the migration for you. Now, for, let's say, all customers with partners already in place, integrators, hosting providers, managed service partners, for sure, we encourage you to ask those OVH partners how they can assist you. They should perfectly know and understand your specific environment and our solution as well. So they are very well positioned to take care of this migration for you. And last but not least on this slide, for all our customers who may not have any partners in place and expect assisted migration by a third party, in this specific case, we plan to direct you to our ecosystem of partners through, let's say, a predefined list of high qualified partners, I would say, with long experience of this type of migration, able to help you all along the migration. So that was for let's say the partners option. And the third one, now I wanted to give you a brief understanding of yes, this last one, which is about how we can help. For this is the target of this offer is for our customers who really don't want to go through partners and specifically ask for direct assistance of OVHcloud. So we have this option available through two packs of services, quite simple, and I will come back on it on the next slide. So yes, so our offers from OVHcloud, our plan is to, let's say, to show you how to do the migration, but with some limits. And you need to be aware that we will not configure and do the migration for you in the way a partner could do. We will assist you all along the migration. We will answer all your technical questions. We will even write some scripts when needed, deliver them to you, but this is really related to technical assistance and not execution of the migration for you. So just to be clear, but you will have an access to, let's say, our best senior architects, and for sure they will help you for this migration. So those two packs, one is a pack of 1 day, the equivalent of 8 hours that you can spend during 1, 2, 3 weeks or more, but so it's all along the migration. So you have an access to this pool of hours, and let's say we identified a second pack, an advanced pack of 4 days, the equivalent of 32 hours for those customers who, let's say, expect more assistance from us. For sure, we can be very flexible and do other type of packs, but this is two basic pack we wanted to share with you. So that's for a summary of our offer. And if we go to, yeah, thank you very much. So on this one, I just wanted to go through this pricing model. So quite simple. The pack of 1 day, the equivalent of 1 hour, of 8 hours, sorry, will be 1,300 euros with an access of 8 hours of a senior VMware architect. And the other one will be 5,000 euros for the equivalent of 4 days or 32 hours of expertise. So this is all, as I said, based on time and material, the customer being fully responsible for executing the migration. Yes, invoicing upfront and to be used during a period of 3 months, but usually, it should take between 1 week, maybe 2-3 weeks maximum. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you in terms of assisted migration.
Thank you, Lionel.
Thank you.
We do have just before to take over the question we just posed. I just have a question around what you just presented, Lionel. What happens if we don't consume the 4 full days that you just introduced earlier?
Oh, okay. Try to imagine you ordered a 4 days package of equivalent of 32 hours, but you only consumed 20 hours. Then the rest is for you. I mean, you have an access to those experts during, let's say, 1 year. Since the PO is open, so you can just ask for any type of technical questions on our offers. So we'll be very happy to support. So it's all for you.
Thank you. And other question that just came, is that open to French and other languages or only English?
Okay, so to start, it will all be in English. We hope to have this available in French in the next couple of months. So yeah, probably for early January.
Thank you, Lionel. If I just come back, we still have some time. If I just come back to the question from the PU side around the pricing, we have 2 questions around the end of services and pricing. Are we going to adapt the pricing of the old version to be consistent with the new offer?
No, there's no plans to change the prices of the old offers.
The reason behind that is that we want you to migrate to the new offers to benefit from new and high performances. We are talking about 2, 3, 4 times performances for new offers. And the second reason behind that is that the material that you're using with SDDC or many DC offers will soon become to not enough performing and obsolete. So we have to take care of that, and we have to manage the product lifecycle and to achieve that we really accompany the clients with the offers that we've designed for you, and we don't want to let people being stuck in the former offers. That's key for us. And some customers years before told us, okay, I don't want to be stuck in my former offer. I want to migrate. How can I achieve that? I want to move forward. That's why we don't want to foster the way the customer can continue to use the former offer.
Good transition then. Are we planning a hand of services for the old offer?
Yeah, we will plan that, but baby steps. The first steps is to accompany you with all the stuff that we are talking about since the beginning of the session. That means we will provide technical guides, we will provide partnerships, we'll provide the whole process, the whole automated process to facilitate as much as we can the migration. And then once everything has been design and put in production, then we will announce end of life of the products. But you will have at least 6 months to react on that. You know, so if let me think about the planning. Let's say that we will pro the world migration scenarios. In April, in March or April, you will have at least until end of December 2021 to migrate, at least. So no worries, we won't let you alone with a deprecated offer without any scenario to take over your business and to move forward with the offers. That's not going to happen.
Will the next offers will also require VDC method to be applied?
I can take it if you want. We do our best to not, as David said, we built for that offer the new premises of the network of OVH globally. So that network gonna stay, you know, for a long time. So we will not have any blocker. I mean, the blocker we have today regarding the network will not be there for next private cloud version. So we will do our best to not. We need to keep in mind that that will not, that VDC migration is not linked to PCC version. If I'm talking about a PCC version, it is linked because we have a very big architecture change at the backend level. So the fact that we need to move from one VDC to another one is due to technical, is due for technical reason, not commercial reasons. So today, I don't know what's gonna be on the next version. So we have a lot of ideas, you know. So the ideas we have today, we don't see any blocker. But if we have a blocker, it's not linked to a private cloud version, it's linked to a technical reason. One technical reason I have in mind that might require migration from one VDC to another one, I mean, an update, you know, will be that NSXT migration. Today, we are running VMware NSXV. And we are working today on an easy way to migrate the existing workload and the existing infrastructure from V to T. And today, everything we have thugged make us think that it is easier for everybody to move from one VDC to another one. It changes a lot of things. It brings new requirements. It brings a new security topic. It brings a lot of new things, you know. So to answer the question, no, we don't want each version to enforce the customer to move from one VDC to another one. But for any technical reason, we might see a migration in the near future.
What about the public IP migrations? Are they implicit with NSX age migrations?
I can take the question as well if you want. The IPs are not linked to the edges, they are linked to the PCC, to the private cloud. When we add a new IP on a private cloud, we route that IP to that routing platform. So the one we are talking on regarding Premier is Martre. So we route all that IPs onto that Martre routing platform, and then it sends like in a standard layer 2 connectivity between that Martre routing platform to the VM. So this is not linked to the edge at all. But if you want to move the IP from one VDC to another one, the public IPs, you don't have anything to do because the IPs are linked to the network, as I said, to the port group that you can find on your inventory named VM network. And because the edges gonna be on the legacy VDC, you know, the existing VDC and the new VDC on the same public network, like the same VM network, on the same VLAN, the fact that the VM gonna be shut down and powered on that new VDC will, I mean, that will work. This is natively, and that will natively work regarding the requirement of the network we have now for years. But you might have some, I mean, the question is there if you want to migrate the IP from one PCC to another one, like the migration between two PCCs. To do that, we have an automation on the control panel, you know, on the OVH manager. You have a way to move the IP from one PC to another one. And this is the way you will have to, this is the action you will have to do to maintain the public IPs on your workload. So we need the same PCC between two VDCs. You don't have anything to do, that will work. Between two PCCs, you will have to move the IP using the control panel.
Should we wait until vSphere 7 and NSXT in order to migrate only once?
The fact is that NSXT is a huge disruption on VMware behind the scenes stuff, and we do advise you to not wait for the migration. Why? Because the first step is to fulfill all the requirements for OVHcloud regarding NSXT new features. So we are working with VMware to do that. We are actually validating the design. After that, we will deploy NSXT stacks on new PCC, and then we provide, but we are talking about 2022, year 2022 probably. We will provide the migration scenario to migrate from NSXV to NSXT. So you can live with your NSXV still for many months, maybe years. I don't know, but that's not gonna happen tomorrow. You know. We are talking about June to start to create new PCC with NSXT, and then we will work on the migration scenarios. So maybe in October 2021. So at the very beginning of 2022, at the very best, we will be able to provide all the migration scenarios, and we do that deep work with VMware to try to foster the migration and to lower the disruption on these scenarios. This is the same for vSphere 7. For me, vSphere 7 and 60 are quite linked, and the planning of deployment will be quite the same. I mean, maybe in June or next summer, we'll be able to deploy vSphere 7 with new PCC, and after that, we are talking about scenarios of migration, etc., etc. So do not wait. Definitely do not wait. And that migration is quite disruptive for the reasons we've explained before. Do not wait. You will be able to get a real high performance platforms, and you can live with that for months and maybe probably years.
Any experience, return of experience on other customer who migrated to hosted private cloud 2020?
Yes, we are for sure. We have a few customers who have migrated, and for sure we helped them through the whole process because we were tested it, but we went step by step, and the approach has been well accepted. So yeah, we had probably one or two issues, minor issues, but which have been fixed, and yeah. So yeah, for those customers it went well, and no real impact on the production with the support of our team.
Except performance better, I guess.
Yeah, the migration with between two PCC is under control. I mean, we do that for years, and tens and tens of customers have already validated that scenario. But it requires some technical stuff, a deep technical understanding of what we are doing with the deployment, the rollout of the VM software, as well as the configuration, and then the timing of migration to replicate the data, to shut down, to start the other way. So there is some. We have to be hands-on on the solution. That's why we want to foster that with partnerships. But yeah, it works. It works. If you take a look at the mailing list, I don't know if you read them, but some customers gave us feedbacks, and that's work. That's work.